All right, and let's get started for interest in for the sake of time. Yeah, welcome to Asian and Middle Eastern Studies presentation. This will largely be kind of an overview of study abroad, how to go about researching, applying, etc. And we will feature some highlighted programs as well as financial aid information and credit transfer information for you. So before we get on with it, let me advance this page here. Some benefits of studying abroad. Obviously, you'll gain real world experience. For those of you who are focusing specifically on a world region, this is your obviously opportunity to kind of go and be immersed in that area, whether that's for a summer program anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, or a full semester or academic year if you feel of interest and want to be abroad for that long. And whether that's for language immersion, for cultural immersion, it's a great benefit and a real world experience. We'll definitely develop cross-cultural competencies, as it says here, as well as just personal growth and development. We see students who go abroad, some of them not having traveled at all or even been out of the state, and come back just gained way more confidence and independence and being able to navigate and just feel more comfortable in this world, as well as seeing the world in less black and white terms, less absolute terms, because you're able to see how people process things differently, how they approach problem solving differently. And it's a way to see the differences as well as commonalities that we have in humanity. So a great experience, regardless of where you go. So let me get into some recommended programs here. We will start with some of the faculty-led programs. Here at UNC, there are multiple ways you can go abroad, multiple time frames where you can go. Most of these summer, what we call FLPs, or faculty-led programs, are in the summer, as is the case with the two that I'm highlighting here. They are largely cohort experiences, which means it's taught by a UNC faculty. It carries a UNC credit number as well as course number. So it'll show up on your transcript pretty seamlessly, and you'll be abroad with largely UNC students, anywhere from, depending on the program, from a dozen to 24 students who are your UNC peers. So the first example here, in the Middle East, we have an archaeological excavation in Israel. This has been going on for quite a while. Anyone who knows Professor Jody Magnus probably knows that she's kind of a big name and badass in the world of archaeology. So she's run this program quite a bit. You'll get 6 credits as part of this program, and you're based in Israel, basically where they discover this really meaningful mosaic, and helping her with actually hands-on excavation during this entire program. You'll be staying at a kibbutz with your peers, probably 3 to a room, and rising super early in the morning. I think I've heard students talk about going to the field at like 4:35 in the morning, working until mid-morning to avoid the heat of day, and then just having your own private time. And then lots of excursions throughout the programs as well. I think every Tuesday and Saturday, there are cultural programs for day trips and excursions around the area. So that's one program that we do want to highlight. Another one that's in Asia is UNC Summer in Japan. So before I talk about this program specifically, we typically have many other offerings in Asia any given summer. As you may know, we're in the middle of a pandemic still. And even though things are seemingly better and a little bit more managed, there's still lots of border restrictions. So while I'm highlighting these programs, they're not meant to be exhaustive, and there will definitely in future years be additional programs on top of that. So please do check back. So coming back to UNC Summer in Japan, this is a program that's run probably for a dozen or so years. Professor Yuki Adatake leads this program, and it's 8 weeks, fully culturally immersive and linguistically immersive. It's meant to be a full year of Japanese in one summer, or 8 weeks. Previously, we've had 2 different tracks. So the 200 level track and the 300 level track. This year, it's not on the slide here, we're also contemplating adding the 400 level track. It's not here because the course numbers are yet to be determined, but and the reason for that is to kind of satisfy students who have been taking Japanese language all along and haven't had a chance to go abroad, because we've suspended summer programs in both 20 and 21, obviously. So 22, fingers crossed, may be the first time that this program is offered in the last 3 years. We did have to make some adjustments. So typically as a homestay program where students stay with a family, again, because of COVID, the homestay is not possible. So we've kind of looked to different types of lodging, whether that's hotel or dorm room, and you will be sharing that with a fellow UNC student. So that's the major change for summer 22 as opposed to previous years. But students receive 9 credits, regardless of what level you're in. You're receiving the 2 language courses and also the Japanese conversation. So for a total of 9 credits and 8 weeks abroad. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and just jump in. This is meant to be kind of informal, or type it in the chat as well, and I can get to it later. And here's some future summer programs for this summer. I mean, it's not an exhaustive list, but we have 2 pretty prominent international summer schools in South Korea. And throughout the pandemic, South Korea has been sort of the country that's had its borders open throughout. Students have been subject to quarantine, and I think depending on how summer 22 goes, you should also be prepared for some kind of a quarantine, whether that is 14 days as it has been in the past, or hopefully shortened. But those are direct enroll programs. There's no limit to how many UNC students we can send. And I think last summer we had probably upwards of 40, 50 students between all of these programs. So it's a pretty popular one. And the same with American University in Cairo. That is largely an Arabic intensive language program that we have available in the summer. And here are some future semester programs. I won't go through all of these, but I just kind of want to highlight some of the major ones in regions that are pertinent to you guys. And most of these, let me see here, are exchange programs, which means you pay the equivalent UNC tuition to UNC, and the cost of living, like housing and other things, to the host university directly. So for especially in-state students, if the finances are an issue, these are pretty cost sensitive programs. And I think for most of these, I think Hebrew, Korea, and Seoul National, they have direct enroll options as well, which may be something out-of-state students can consider as well, because that will be less than your UNC tuition here. All right, academics and credit. So when you're going abroad, I mean, every student's situation is different, but you're able to receive a variety of credits, whether that's elective, that's the easiest to earn. General education is something that we can evaluate in-house. By virtue of going abroad, everybody will get the EE requirement for just being abroad. And then for major and minor language requirements, it's a little bit more complicated because those require departmental approval. So we encourage you to meet with your academic advisor before going abroad to just kind of understand how this fits in your plan. If you have to shift some things around or take a course now in preparation for you being abroad, or reserve some courses for later. So make sure you talk to your advisor about that. And especially if you're a transfer student or have a large number of transfer hours, that may impact where you go or how you go abroad. In terms of courses, yeah, they all kind of contribute towards your degrees, towards graduating, as well as your major if you are able to get departmental approval. So we do have a list of pre-approved courses. This is kind of a newer database for us, but you're able to click that link, and these slides will be posted online as well. But follow that link to see pre-approved courses. Again, this is not meant to be like a Bible of courses. These are just classes that students have taken in the past and have received approval for. So we are continuing to add more and more courses every term to this database. So make sure you check the page and you check relevant resources before you make a plan or commit to a study abroad program. And this kind of tells you how to do research. Make sure you are able to get at least a course description, if not a syllabus for your course. And you can do this entire process at different times, before you go abroad, while you're abroad, and even after you come back. All right, program costs. All of our programs will have a program brochure page for the individual program. And as part of that page, there will be a budget sheet included. And that's broken down into different kind of line items. So you'll see exactly what the tuition fees are, how much we bill you through Carolina, and how much we estimate your out-of-pocket will be. So obviously this changes from program to program and also even term to term. So make sure you consult our website for that exact amount. And of course, those are subject to change or subject to like currency fluctuations. So we try to do our best to estimate your total cost of attendance. And if you are receiving financial aid, for your time here at UNC, those do transfer with you. So whether that is grants, work study will be adjusted, loans, etc. Those will carry with you. And our colleague Sharon Beers in the study abroad office, as well as OSA, she has a joint appointment, will work with you to kind of repackage your financial aid package based on the cost of attendance. So that's good news there. And in addition to aid and scholarships through Central University and through federal government, we have some specific aid available here at university. And one that we just want to highlight that's especially pertinent to anybody who wants to study abroad in Asia. So I will hand this over to my colleague Dory, who will talk about the next couple slides.
Sure, thanks, Jing. And I really appreciate Jing and Study Abroad, including Phillips Ambassador's program in today's information session. It's good to see everybody, and it's fun to think about studying abroad and how it's opening back up now that we're sort of learning how to mitigate a pandemic. So generally speaking, Phillips Ambassadors program is a scholarship program. We were founded in 2007, UNC, and since then we've supported almost 400 students in studying abroad in Asia in particular. So if you're here for a program in Southeast, or East Asia, that is what the Phillips Ambassador program pertains to. Next slide, Jing, please. So a brief overview of the program. You do have to be applying to a study abroad program in Asia. That could be through the regular study abroad office, where Jing is the director of the programs and Derek Shepard is the study abroad advisor. Or it can be through Keenan Flagler's Global Programs Office, where your contact is Ben Hershey. So as long as you're applying to a study abroad program, it's wonderful. Now your application for the Phillips Ambassador program will be an integral part of your regular study abroad application. So there's no longer, if you've had friends or family members who've applied for scholarships before, sort of had to look all over in different places to do that. And now it's just part of your application. So when you open up an application to study abroad in Asia, whether it's through Study Abroad Office on main campus or Keenan Flagler, you're going to have an additional question that tells you a little bit about the Phillips Ambassador program and gives you some resources to look through. And then it will say, are you interested in starting an application for this program? We do provide a $6,000 scholarship. It becomes part of your financial aid package. So it's important to keep in touch with financial aid to know what that means for you individually. And we offer some unique programming. So in addition to the pre-departure orientations that you'll find through regular study abroad, which are wonderful, you'll meet program participants who are going on your programs there. And then when you come back, there'll be some additional opportunities to connect with people who are abroad in your region. But what the Phillips Ambassadors program does is sort of connect you in a more academic way to your study abroad experience in Asia. So we have designed a unique Global Studies course. It's Global Studies 281. It does count towards your BN Gen Ed. And it is at the moment taught, and for a long time been taught by Dr. Michael Shin out of the history department. And the cohort attends this class together. So whether you're studying abroad in Singapore or Japan, South Korea, wherever you're studying abroad in Asia, you're going to come together as a Phillips Ambassador for 2 sessions before you study abroad. They're held on Saturdays on campus, and we call them retreats because we sort of, in addition to the class, we eat together, and it's with food, fellowship, and the academic portion. And you contextualize your experience. You begin to talk about what it means to study abroad in Asia, what your preconceived ideas are of that, and you discuss this not only with the group that is leaving to go to Asia, but also with Phillips Ambassadors who have also recently returned from studying abroad. So you begin to mix with that group as well. and then you go and study abroad, and you have a Sakai portion while you're studying abroad to keep in touch via an online chat. And then when you come back, you participate in 3 more Saturday sessions to finish up this 3-credit course. So this is an addition, 3 credits in addition to whatever credit you're earning abroad. And this will be the same whether you study abroad in the summer, the fall, the spring, academic year, or calendar year. Almost every program in Asia is eligible for the Phillips Ambassador Program application, with a few exceptions. And all of the qualifying programs are listed on the Phillips Ambassador website. So in addition to completing the course when you come back to UNC, you also will already be thinking about a give back project, which is your way of sharing your experience with either your hometown community, your campus community, or both. And there's no sort of set paradigm or box that you have to fit into for a give back project. They really do range, and I'll show you a few examples on the next slide. But it is a way for you to personally share your experience so that it's not just sort of I studied abroad, check the box, put it on my resume, and move on. We're hoping that you complete sort of a service component to continue that and deepen that interest in Asia that you may have had since you were little. You may have just gotten excited when you started classes at UNC and you were sparked by an interest to go to Asia, or just maybe the program you originally were interested in wasn't available and you ended up in Asia somehow out of the blue, and now you're just really psyched about it. So we just have such a wide variety of backgrounds in our program. So in addition to those components, we have special events throughout the year. We have receptions. We just held a really cool reception at the Akron Art Museum, where we honored our new ambassadors who are heading out to Singapore, Thailand, and South Korea for the spring. And we got to have a private talk by the curatorial director and a tour of the new Asia art exhibit, which I highly recommend. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just a touring exhibition from the Rockefeller family's third collection of Asian art, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So we have those sorts of special events throughout the year and networking opportunities. And in addition to that, we have an alumni network of almost 400. We have a private LinkedIn group. We do alumni to alumni counseling, mentoring, job interviews, and you can see some of that on our website as well. Okay, next slide. And just a quick sampling of give back projects. This is just showing you 2 that were done over the pandemic. A lot of times our give backs were done in person. Somebody would do a research project or hold some sort of class or bring people together for some fellowship event. And over the pandemic, we've had students get a little bit more creative in terms of having to do something that still reaches a wide audience, but is done in a virtual setting. And these 2 examples, one was an alumni to alumni interview that's very interesting, can be found on our website. And then another student who sort of had a side passion of art, studied abroad in Singapore, and she designed these 2 postcards that we are now using to communicate with our community. So that's exciting. And I think there's one more slide. In short, all majors are welcome to apply, and that sort of is what makes the program exciting. We had 10 ambassadors in South Korea over the summer, especially due to travel restrictions. That was really the only location they could get to. Some of them originally were interested in Japan or India, but they ended up in South Korea, and they all had an amazing time. And every single one of them was from a different major. So it was, a sort of a diverse cohort in that sense. 3.0 minimum GPA to apply. And really, we're just looking for students who are going to have 1 semester at minimum left upon return. So if you're a graduating senior, you're not eligible because then you wouldn't be able to finish the course and your give back project and really complete that service component. Our applications in the study abroad sense follow their deadlines, which are seem to be fixed now at opening on, let's see, November 15th now for summer, fall, and year-long programs due February 10th. So those just opened recently. And then with Keenan Flagler, since they just recently integrated our application as well, we follow their application cycle, and those are due January 17th. We are proud to say, because of my wonderful student assistant marketing coordinator, we are pretty good at social media. So we're good at telling you when applications are open. We're pretty good at telling you when they're due and sharing stories and experiences from our ambassadors, new and old, and how they are doing while they're abroad, and then what they're doing with that abroad experience when they get back. So definitely check that out if you're not putting these dates on your calendar. We will be peppering you with reminders on social media. And then if you were interested in programs down the road, the application cycle for spring calendar year is there. And I think the final slide has a QR code where you can just aim your phone at it now, and maybe Jing will keep it up for another 20 seconds while I wrap up. And that'll bring you to a series of links for us, including our website, our social media, our YouTube channel, that sort of thing, so that you can make sure that you stay on top of everything Phillips Ambassador. So we welcome everybody to apply. If you have questions, maybe hold them to the end or put them in the chat, and I can answer them while Jing continues this presentation. And then I'm always available via email, phone, that sort of thing, for one-on-one chats, or to put you in touch with with a returning ambassador if you have questions about the program. So I welcome all of that, and hope to see some applications from you all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dory. So before we get into the final few slides, which is how to apply timelines and things like that, we do have the pleasure of 2 returning students with us here during our presentation. One is Morgan Hansard. She went abroad in Shanghai. And then also Olivia, who went to AUC, which is American University in Cairo. Because I think Dory just finished with the Phillips, I'm going to ask Morgan to speak first, if that's okay, and then turn it over to Olivia. So if you can both kind of introduce yourself and say a couple, maybe speak a couple minutes about your experience abroad, any kind of memorable experiences, things you want students to know, what you would have wished you had known before you went abroad. So go ahead, Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I am a senior here at UNC. I'm a history and a PWAD double major. And so actually, it's funny because I had never really had any specific interest in studying abroad in Asia. And then I took a history of 20th century China class, and I just absolutely fell in love with like Chinese history. So then I applied for Phillips Ambassadors and my study abroad program, which are unfortunately not running this summer. But Phillips Ambassadors and that program were both like the best decisions I've made being at UNC. And so especially with Phillips Ambassadors, just like Dory was saying, it's like such an awesome way to like keep talking about your study abroad experience and like still be like involved and be able to like tell other people about how your experience was. So the class taught by Michael Chin, he's amazing. You get to do a research paper on any topic you want related to your study abroad. We do give back projects, which can literally be anything you want. Like she showed you Parrish's art, which is awesome. And then I like wrote an article that was about COVID in Taiwan, I think. But yeah, I love the program. I always love to go back and help Dory do stuff. But this is absolutely the best decision I've ever made here. So I love talking about the Phillips Ambassadors program and my study abroad program. So if anyone has any more specific questions, you can send me an email or send me a chat in here. I can put my email in if someone wants, but yeah.
Thanks, Morgan.
Can I just totally butt in, because I did not see that Morgan was here because I didn't scroll down the photos, and I just have to give Morgan an amazing shout out, because it is true. You just transformed while you were abroad to this really exciting interest in China, and she is an absolute model Phillips Ambassador in that she's always volunteering for everything. So I should not have been surprised to see you here, Morgan. We're just not going to let you graduate because you're just such a wonderful spokesperson for our program and all that you've gained from it. So thank you for being here. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Olivia, go ahead.
Hey y'all, I'm Olivia Voss. I'm a senior, PWAD major, stats minor. I chose AUC Egypt because I was studying Arabic and I was really interested in the Middle East. And so I took a few Arabic class or an Arabic class while I was there, took some beforehand. I was really lucky because I actually studied abroad last spring, which was like smack dab in the middle of COVID stuff, but I didn't have to change my plans at all. I was always planning on going to AC Egypt in spring 2021. I loved my program. I loved the flexibility of being like at a regular university and being able to actually be really immersed like within the community rather than just like kind of being only surrounded by other Americans. And I got to make some really cool friends and see all kinds of cool stuff in Egypt. Traveled like very extensively within the country. So that was awesome.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you both for being here and talking about your experience. Before I move on to some of the bookkeeping, applying application things, do any of the students here have questions for either Morgan or Olivia? I know they're much more interesting to talk to than myself, for sure. Then if not, I will keep moving on. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing your experience with us. So if you're convinced that study abroad is right for you at this point, let me get into the application phase of the presentation, which is how to apply and the steps that you need to take. Basically, the first one is attend a study abroad one-on-one, which is where you find out lots of general information. And in essence, that's where this presentation is. Kind of tells you a little bit of a brief overview of the process. And now it's up to you to kind of take the tools and resources that you have and do some research. I know it can be overwhelming because you basically have any region of the world or any type of program at your fingertips, but utilize our website, which I'll talk about later. Utilize the program brochures, talk to students like Morgan and Olivia, talk to your faculty members, and do some, talk to your academic advisor and do some research about which program is best suited for you. You can also meet with a study abroad advisor. That's not required, but highly encouraged. And you can do those things kind of concurrently as well. We have 3 study abroad advisors here who specialize in different regions of the world and can kind of help you kind of think through that process and guide you towards one program or the other. From there, you would complete a HEALS Abroad application. That's where the online application is held. And then, yeah, and after that, you do all the subsequent steps, which is complete the host institution, you apply the scholarships, you get notified of your decision, you have to commit to the program and then attend a pre-departure. That's kind of rushing through the latter program, so I want to kind of jump back a little bit and show you some of the application and resources available. So what is on an application? When you go to HEALS Abroad and you find a program you hit apply, it will bring you to the online application. And there are 2 kind of sides of that. One is the HEALS Abroad, which is an internal application, and the other is a host institution application. Basically, you apply to UNC first. You can only apply to one program. You prioritize the program that you're most interested in, and your advisor will basically work with you. If for some reason you're not accepted into your first choice, then we'll work with you to kind of reroute you to a second choice or another similar program, whether that's in content or in geographical region. So after that, after you're accepted, quote, to the program, then you will guide you through a process of applying to your host institution as well. Initially, the applications will require some kind of transcripts. Depending on the program, I think most require unofficial. There are some programs that require official transcript where you'll request from the registrar. There will be a list of short answer questions. I believe 6 or 7 short answer questions are pretty easy, talking about your kind of global travel, reasons why you want to study abroad, both academically, personally, etc. There is a $50 application fee, which you'll pay either via like check or cashier check in person or with your one card, which is probably the easier way to go. And then there's some other disclaimers and waivers that you have to sign and acknowledge and do your e-signature online. So it's pretty easy. Everything's online. You do not have to set foot into our building at all. There are 2 cycles throughout the year. We are in the beginning of the kind of summer fall academic year cycle. This is a bigger one. So apps have already opened November 15th, which was this past Monday, and they'll stay open until February 10th. So you have basically between now and then to research programs if you're thinking of going abroad this upcoming summer, next fall, or the full academic year. And then the same thing repeats itself in the fall for the spring cycle. Let's see here, some other considerations. Yeah, so like I said, you can only apply to one program at a time. And then applying to a program is not the same as committing, right? So you do apply, we work with you, and once you're accepted, you have, I think, 10 days from the date that you're notified of your acceptance to sign a study abroad contract. And that is when you're actually committed to the program. So you still have time after applying to kind of work out some of the details and logistical things. Make sure you go to our website, studyabroad.unc.edu. That's kind of the epicenter for all things study abroad and many of the resources I talked about. So whether that's academic credit transfer, whether that is scheduling an appointment, talking about financial aid and things like that. And if your parents are interested, or guardians are interested in learning more about study abroad, there's a page for them as well. And from there, you'll probably be linked to the Heels Abroad, and you can go here directly as well, heelsabroad.unc.edu. And this is basically where all the program brochures I mentioned live in, and where you will actually initiate your application. And here's a screenshot of what it looks like. It's not the prettiest system, but it works for the most part. So you can do kind of parameter searches. You can search by region, by city, by major. But that's just kind of a screenshot of what that looks like once you go into Heels Abroad. And then health and safety. So I know we're kind of getting short on time, so I'll kind of go through this a little bit, but COVID-19 obviously is a real thing. With each subsequent semester, we're getting better at identifying risks, adjusting programs to minimize your risk. Every cycle, we kind of go through up the chain of command to the vice provost for international affairs to get individual countries approved. So right now, still, travel restriction on UNC system, but with every semester, we're able to get more and more countries approved. So, which is really encouraging, and we are adjusting programs as necessary. So for example, in the Japan program, I mentioned that we're not doing home stays, we're doing hotels and dormitory instead. So that's just one example of how we're kind of adapting with COVID as we go forth, because we know students want to go abroad and you want to have in-person experience, and you don't want to probably stare at a computer screen any longer than you have to. And finally, stay in touch. Make sure you follow all of our social media. Like Dory said, in addition to Philip's social media, the Heels Abroad or SAO has some pages as well. So follow us on Instagram. Those are lots of really kind of enviable photos from students all over the world posting. We'll do Instagram takeovers as well. Follow us on Facebook. Most of the events and things and deadlines are posted on Facebook. So, oops, we have already done that. So that's about it. A little bit over time, but I think we're good. So I'm here for any questions that you might have, whether that's related to a specific program or just any kind of procedure. And same for Dory, I think. Let's see here. Does everyone apply for a study abroad program, even if you apply for a scholarship and receive it? I'm not sure. Would you mind clarifying for that? Or clarifying what that question means? Does everyone apply for a study abroad program?
Just while we're waiting to see if clarification is added, you can't get a study abroad scholarship without applying to study abroad. So you would be applying to study abroad and applying for a scholarship to do that at the same time. So you have to, the reason why you have to apply for the actual program is that your advisor has to make sure you meet all of the parameters. Yes, and I see your clarification about the admissions, is it the admissions Excel money that you can spend on the summer program? I'm guessing that's what it is. And I'm sorry, Jing, that I'm just forging ahead here, but admissions is doing that because they saw you as an outstanding student that they wanted to give a global opportunity to. So you do have that money, and it's from what I understand, use or lose. And so you would have, yes, you would have to choose your program now because they want you to go abroad in the summer, but they're not telling you where to go. I say go to Asia. But but so you have to apply, and then there is a place on the application that you do list that you have that particular scholarship, so that they will know to apply that. It doesn't mean you won't be eligible for other things, but those things will all be considered part of your overall aid package, and there's federal regulations, so you can't go over a certain total. But yes, that it will be part of the application. They'll say, did you receive the 5,000 Excel summer study abroad scholarship? It has a bunch of different names, but it is that scholarship from admissions, as far as I understand. And they will also ask you if you are a Moorhead Kane or a Robertson or a Covenant scholar, or any other scholarships that you receive, because the financial aid office just needs to know your entire financial picture. They're trying to give as many students help to study abroad financially as possible, so they want to make sure that the playing field is even.
Yeah, and not everybody goes abroad. I think you're in good company though. I think maybe 40% of UNC students study abroad, so that's quite a bit. And then I think with a question from TT, are exchange programs all partner programs? I, again, probably maybe need a clarifying thing for that, but exchange programs are one type of programs that we have. And they are our partners. So for exchange, it's more reciprocal, which means we send them students and they in turn send us students. So in the spring, we're anticipating probably 140 some students from all over the world attending here at UNC. And that's because you guys are going abroad and are able to provide that experience for those students. So that's one way of going abroad. And we also have partner programs where we call preferred partner provider programs. And those are really kind of I don't call them companies, but organizations that provide study abroad for all students. So you're also able to do that. And that would be more of like a direct enroll, and you go with them. So there's really no reciprocity with a host institution in that case. But those are also ways for you to go abroad. I hope that answers your question.
And can I just throw it out there that in some cases, well, I mean, okay, so I think that maybe what is also being asked, when you do apply to study abroad through UNC Study Abroad, there sometimes is another application for the partner institution, whether it is, Mahindong University in Thailand. They need you to fill out their application more as a formality. Once you're approved by UNC and UNC knows that you've met all the requirements, you do have to fill out their application in a sense, just to get a student number and an ID and register for classes. So there will be that additional component. And also with third-party providers, partner providers, you will also fill out their application as well. So that's why UNC has worked really hard to streamline their application, knowing that you're going to also have an additional step in many cases. And then I think I wanted to expand on what someone else said as well. I think I just wanted to make a quick note that in some cases, especially for out-of-state students, you can find a program to study abroad that actually costs you less to be abroad than it would at UNC. Nothing against UNC, but you might find something in Thailand that is more along the lines of being an in-state student cost at UNC, and now voila, you're in Thailand. So I would suggest that you do an advanced search on the study abroad site, because you can do it by program costs. You can look at programs that are, I'm not exactly sure of the parameters, but say between $10,000 and $15,000 a year, which would be closer to an in-state, a semester, which would be closer to a UNC tuition. And I know that a lot of out-of-state students do that to alleviate one semester's worth of tuition costs as an out-of-state student. So I would just suggest that you do that kind of search as well. Third-party providers tend to be a little more expensive in general because they provide a lot more support and risk management. They're doing a lot of the visa work for you and picking you up at the airport and doing all kinds of field trips and things when you get there. Whereas if you're on an exchange program, you really are just like an international student here is at UNC. You're a regular student on another campus. You can, do as little or as much as you want to assimilate into that culture. But it does generally cost less than sort of a third-party provider. So I think I went ahead and answered some questions that people didn't have, but maybe maybe you were thinking, and hopefully it was helpful.
Right, I think that's all of the questions. I'm Any last minute things before we wrap this up, or I basically stop recording? All right, so let me go ahead and end the recording.